Okay, guys, let's go quickly to the weekly seminar. But before then, let's start with the mandatory training and see how best to kind of remind ourselves of what is happening in and around us. So let's quickly go to this training and see. I think it has something to do with the basic IT training. Basic IT training. Should we do this? No, let me go back. I think let's do something on this. Let's see. I think I have one on Wi-Fi. Public Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's okay. So let's have a look at this. Okay. Let's get rolling.
Welcome back, everyone. And in case you're just tuning in, we have Tom Fremont, CEO for ProConnect.com, which recently suffered a massive data breach. You know, Tom, over the break, I received word that the number of ProConnect users whose login data was stolen isn't 4.5 million like your company originally reported, but actually, it's closer to 170 million. Would you like to respond to this report?
Well, Kelly, that figure does not sound right to me. Where are you getting this information?
I can only tell you it came from a very reliable source.
Well, let me say I have trouble believing that report.
Apparently, the market believes it because I'm watching your stock price free fall as much as 40% right now.
An overreaction to falsified claims.
Wouldn't that mean hackers now have usernames, passwords, and email addresses for 170 million people? Information they could use to try and log on to other websites your subscribers use?
This is why I felt it was important for me to come here today and go public with the breach. To get word out to our valued customers to please change your login information. And not just on ProConnect, but on any other websites you use.
Have you been able to determine how this cyber attack occurred?
The initial source of the breach happened when one of our employees was using a wireless access point at an airport. Hackers can create fake hotspots that look like real ones, but really they're just traps set up to trick unsuspecting users into handing over their login data.
So let's say I go to my favorite coffee shop to get some work done. I open my laptop and I'm prompted by a screen asking if I want to use the free Wi-Fi. Is this what you're talking about?
Yes, And most of the time, it's not obvious it's a fake hotspot because it will have a legitimate sounding name.
And what if I click to join?
Then every keystroke you enter after that will go straight to the hackers.
Scary. Another scary thing about this is that the perpetrator could be committing this crime remotely from literally hundreds of miles away.
That's right. You could be the only customer in the location. Or maybe you're in a place where you've used the Wi-Fi before. You still need to consider yourself vulnerable.
Is there a way to tell if a public Wi-Fi hotspot is safe?
The best way to verify that a hotspot is legitimate is to ask an employee the name of the Wi-Fi service, or by checking for signage, which may be posted somewhere with this information.
Well, thank you for joining us, Tom. And to all of you watching right now, especially those who might be viewing this through a Wi-Fi hotspot, you really need to have your guard up, because you never know who might be on the other end of that computer.
Okay, let's play it once more.
Welcome back, everyone. And in case you're just tuning in, we have Tom Fremont, CEO for ProConnect.com, which recently suffered a massive data breach. You know, Tom, over the break, I received word that the number of ProConnect users whose login data was stolen isn't 4.5 million like your company originally reported, but actually, it's closer to 170 million. Would you like to respond to this report?
Well, Kelly, that figure does not sound right to me. Where are you getting this information?
I can only tell you it came from a very reliable source.
Well, let me say I have trouble believing that report.
Apparently, the market believes it because I'm watching your stock price free fall as much as 40% right now.
An overreaction to falsified claims.
Wouldn't that mean hackers now have usernames, passwords, and email addresses for 170 million people? Information they could use to try and log on to other websites your subscribers use?
This is why I felt it was important for me to come here today and go public with the breach. To get word out to our valued customers to please change your login information. And not just on ProConnect, but on any other website you use.
Have you been able to determine how this cyber attack occurred?
The initial source of the breach happened when one of our employees was using a wireless access point at an airport. Hackers can create fake hotspots that look like real ones, but really they're just traps set up to trick unsuspecting users into handing over their login data.
So let's say I go to my favorite coffee shop to get some work done. I open my laptop and I'm prompted by a screen asking if I want to use the free Wi-Fi. Is this what you're talking about?
Yes, and most of the time it's not obvious it's a fake hotspot because it will have a legitimate sounding name.
And what if I click to join?
Then every keystroke you enter after that will go straight to the hackers.
Scary. Another scary thing about this is that the perpetrator could be committing this crime remotely from literally hundreds of miles away.
That's right. You could be the only customer in the location. Or maybe you're in a place where you've used the Wi-Fi before. You still need to consider yourself vulnerable.
Is there a way to tell if a public Wi-Fi hotspot is safe?
The best way to verify that a hotspot is legitimate is to ask an employee the name of the Wi-Fi service, or by checking for signage, which may be posted somewhere with this information.
Well, thank you for joining us, Tom. And to all of you watching right now, especially those who might be viewing this through a Wi-Fi hotspot, you really need to have your guard up, because you never know who might be on the other end of that computer.
Indeed, we really have to have our guards up. So let's go straight to the quiz. As we do always, I've answered the quiz already, so but let me restart it and see if we can. Okay, good. So the question says, how should you verify that a public Wi-Fi hotspot is legitimate? how should you verify that a public Wi-Fi hotspot is legit? So select all that apply. Look for official signage at the location with the name of the hotspots to be sure it's the correct one. You look for the official signage of the location with the name of the hotspots to be sure it is the correct one. The second one says if the name matches the place you are in, then it is safe to log in. If the name matches the place you are in, then it is safe to log in. If the Wi-Fi hotspot asks you to create a password, then it is safe to proceed. If the Wi-Fi hotspot asks you to create a password, then it is safe to proceed. And the last being verify the exact name of the hotspots with an employee who works there. So what are the answers? What do you think are the right answers or the correct answers?
The first one and the last one.
The first and the last. Any other answer? Do anyone has anything else, anything different from what we have? The first and the last? No? Okay, so let's complete. So I think it's the right answer. So thank you guys and thanks for your time and welcome to our weekly seminar as we've been doing always every Wednesday between the hours of 12 Eastern Time, 4 p.m. GMT, to 1 to or 5 GMT. We always have this seminar coming on. Today, as always, we are coming on with another important topic, and has to. We all have to stay glued to our seats, and then we make some notes. If you have any question in the middle of the presentation, you can jot it down or you can raise up your hand. When we are done, we'll come back and then we'll take your questions and as well your suggestions and what have you. So we're going to move straight to today's seminar. And today, okay, let me just open it. We're going to do a very important thing. Sorry. Okay. So good. I think we have everything set. And as usual, is a weekly threat intelligence seminar. And the topic has to do, or the topic for the day is physical security and its relations to cybersecurity. Physical security, cybersecurity, all falls within the security area. So why do we choose or why did we decide to talk on to discuss this particular topic? It is very important that we all have to secure our environments for us to have a smooth sailing. Security is very important, as you all know. And as part of our S-Class, I think there's some aspect of it that requires that you have understanding or good understanding of the physical security, because without the physical security, you can't, think of any other, or you can't have a good cyber security system in place, because all our assets, all our, place of work and what have you is in the physical area. It's physical, it's tangible, you can see it, you can touch it, you can do whatever you want to do with it. So if, for instance, a thief decides to invade in your property or in the organization's property and do away with maybe the hard disk of that or a machine within the working environment, no amount of Wi-Fi, no amount of how do you call it? Not Wi-Fi, no amount of firewall could prevent that from happening. So it needs a physical security presence to be able to deter or to stop any other person from physically having direct contact with any other thing in the organization. So physical security is very important. Physical security planning can feel like a daunting task, and it can be difficult to know where to start. Now, many companies focus their efforts on cybersecurity After all, modern businesses rely heavily on their data and IT infrastructure for day-to-day activities. However, physical security plans should be equally high on the agenda. Striking a balance between online and physical security measures helps protect your business from all angles, safeguards your reputation, and ensures that all your employees feel safe at the workplace. So how would you feel, or how would an employee feel if he knows that at his place of work there isn't a proper security? Sorry, there isn't a proper security. Any other person could just come in and harm him or her. Do you think you have a sound mind to work within that particular facility? So it is important that physical security is established for every employee to feel safe whilst at workplace. This physical security guide will help explain the fundamentals of security, including the most common physical security threats and measures to prevent them. So you can also find helpful information for your organization, your workplace, or what have you, as far as this presentation is concerned. So the scope of physical security. So the pandemic or the civil unrest related to mass insurrections and an increase in gun violence have made the chief information security officers and other executives more concerned about physical security, including the well-being of themselves and their employees. So the reports, which is based on a survey of 300 physical security decision makers, the CISO, the CIO, the CTO, and the other IT leaders, emphasize 4 areas of concern over physical threats. So the business continuity, unmanaged and rising physical threats, increased corporate risk, and potentially could impact business continuity. So this could affect the business big time whenever there is any physical damage to the facility or the environment that people work in. It is very difficult for business to have a smooth sailing or to continue being in business. And them being out of business could go a long way to destroy the company's goodwill and other things as far as the company's customers is concerned. So the company has the risk of losing more of its customers. As you all know, every single organization depends on customers, both internal and external customers. So when we talk about internal customers, are the good or the well-trained employees that are working within the organization, and the external customers are people who come to the organization for any need or what have you, or buying of any asset or anything that the organization deals in. A large threats landscape, intelligence failure puts executives and employees at risk of physical harm or supply chain damage or property theft by an insider. So 71% of the respondents said the physical threat landscape has dramatically changed. Lack of unification between physical and cybersecurity. Most respondents said the unifying cybersecurity and physical security could have helped avoid incidents that resulted in hard or deaths at the organizations. So unexpected challenges. Compared to an earlier study, some of the key challenges IT and security leaders faced in 2022 were not the ones they expected to have when asked in 2021 or what have you, sorry. Those challenges include regularly compliance reporting and demonstrating a return in investment in physical security. So around 64% of the respondents reported an increase in physical threats activity so far in 2020, while 58% said they feel less prepared to handle physical security for their organization. So these are some of the things that informed our decision into discussing about this particular or this important topic. So physical security is just a protection of your people, the property, the assets. So this includes physical protection of equipment and technologies, including data storage, server, employees, computers, and what have you. So it has to do with all the physical activities that happens within an organization. So when you go to every organization, the first point of call is the security checkpoints. Why do we have that? We have that because we have to check whoever comes in and out of the organization, the inflow and then the outflow of people within the organization, and to be properly assigned people to whatever area that they are supposed to visit. You understand? If you go to a workplace, maybe a contractor within the organization has his own way of going, has places that he will go. If there need be that, there should be a physical person escorting him within the premises. That will be done. That will be ensured by the security, person at the checkpoint. If you go to the car park, you have various things like the security cameras and what have you, just to be able to know the kind of people that are within or that comes to the organization's premises in order to prevent bad people from having access into the organization. So as you can see, the physical security examples above all extremely varied, touching on every aspect of a site and its function. Some physical security plans are determined by environmental factors such as your site layouts, while some are behavioral, like staff training. So to revisit the physical security definitions above, successful protection of people, property, and assets involve a range of physical security measures. So still on the definitions, we have physical security is the protection of people, property, and physical assets from actions and events that could cause damage or loss. So it's just protect assets or any other important thing that organizations has from being destroyed or being stolen. So though often overlooked in favor of cybersecurity, physical security is equally important. And indeed, it has grown into 30 billion industry. All the firewalls in the world can't help you if an attacker remove your storage media from the storage room. No amount of firewall can prevent that. So the growing sophistication of physical security through technologies such as artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things means IT and physical security are becoming more closely connected. And as a result, security teams need to work together to secure both the physical and the digital assets. So some of the elements of physical security, so site layouts and security configuration. So what you have to look at, where are your weak points? My site layouts, how is my organization, where is it located? How is the building? Is it safe? If someone is coming from one side, would I be able to detect that person? Do I have the necessary equipment to detect any intruder from any angle or any other person that is coming to cause harm within the organization? So these are some of the things that you have to look at and how your assets were being configured. These are all things that you have to take note of in order to have a proper control of your security of your area. Visibility of critical areas, including the lighting system, the video cameras that you have, and what have you. Some people have some CCTV cameras installed in their premises, but some do it just for fashion. They don't look at whatever is happening. The other time I was asking a friend who has a shop, whose mother has a shop in Makola and stuff like that, and they were dealing in jewelries and what have you. So I was asking her about the shop and the security system in place because they deal with more customers. And she was like, oh, they have CCTV cameras and what have you all over installed within the organization. So I asked her, do they have time to review whatever, footage that has been captured or what have you? And she's like, oh, they are not interested in that. And they say, okay, then why do you have those cameras installed if you don't have time to review it? You understand? So it is important that, hello? Please kindly mute yourself. And, yeah, do you have a question or anything? Hello, is there any problem? Hello, guys, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Can you proceed, please?
All right, so thank you very much. So I was asking her about that, and she was like, oh, they just installed it and they know everything is good, but they don't have time. I said, okay, it will be proper if you have time to check whatever that camera has captured, so that you'll be able to know whether the camera that you've installed there is 7/8 purpose or not. Because if you just installed it without reviewing whatever footage that has been captured, then I don't see the need for you to have it. So these are some of the things, some of our attitude. We put security systems in place, but we don't properly, or we don't routinely review it to see if it's indeed in good shape or what have you. Access control from simple locks through a keypad and biometric access. So look at the access control, the perimeter protection, the guard and the gates aspect of physical security, the intrusion detection, which is very important. I think I did my master's dissertation in intrusion detection, and some of the things that have been discovered are but they are very, very serious. I did it with one of the banks in Ghana, which I don't want to mention the name here, but in due time we'll talk about that. Infrastructure protection, including power, the fire, network connectivity, and water. So these are infrastructure protection against any other things that could happen, against, power outages, against fire outbreaks, and what have you. These are all important. Staff training and incident response. These are also important. We need to have our staffs, our employees well trained when it comes to how to handle certain basic things within the organization. So common physical security threats, vulnerabilities, and risk. Each business individual physical security risk will be different, but there are some common types of physical security threats to be aware of. Unauthorized entry. This include tailgating, social engineering, or access via stolen passes or codes. So these are all ways of people that people could get access within the organization. Tailgating, I think we've been mentioning this, in a situation whereby one will be at the gate of the premises trying to get someone to open the door so that he will be able to join the person or to be able to go. It's as if the person is, working there already. I remember one day here in Germany, I was coming to our apartments and I met a guy at the gate. So I saw him, he was standing there, and then I have my key, but he doesn't have the key, not knowing he was coming to his brother, who happens to be my flatmate. Okay, so I just opened the door and then I entered. He tried to enter after me, but I didn't allow him. I locked the gate, and then I just took the lift to our apartment, only for me to realize after a few minutes, he's also in the, apartment in the area. And I was like, asking about like, were you coming to our place? Said, yeah, I'm the brother to this particular person. You see, so because of my knowledge and my security background, I didn't allow him to follow because I didn't know him. He doesn't have access to the building, so I don't have to allow him. Even though he's black, he's blah blah blah, but I don't have to allow him because that is not within my rights. All I could do is just open for myself and then move. So you can see that is how we all have to be. But if you go to some organizations, especially we in Africa, we always try to extend a helping hand to people that we see struggling or something of that sort. These are things that we should stop. Social engineering, people could be like they are carrying things and they needed help and stuff like that. So you open the door for them. Meanwhile, they are not people who are supposed to be allowed in their premises, and what have you, stolen key codes and passcode and what have you. Theft and burglary, does businesses own many valuable assets from equipment to documents and employees' ID. Some businesses are extremely exposed to physical security risk like theft because of what they store in their premises. For example, jewelries and other important assets. So these are areas that's always bad people they always want to get to environment that there's a valuable asset there that they could take and then get some money out of it. Vandalism, that is, some businesses are at risk of their property being destroyed based on the area that that particular building is being located at. Example, when you have your building, being located in the area that is earmarked to be hardcore area or area that has bad people, and anytime there's a route within that particular environment, the possibility of things within your organization being destroyed, maybe glasses and stuff like that, being broken as a result of people throwing stones and what have you, is very high. So when you are going to cite a business, area, you have to put it at a very secured area or environment. So that is why mostly I now understand the reason why if you go to some areas and you want to rent a place for maybe your organization, it's more expensive than other areas because of that physical, that security. So there are a few high-level types of physical security threats. As you conduct a risk assessment of your own businesses, you'll discover physical security risk specific to your industry and your location. So measures and methods. Deterrence. Deterrence physical security measure are focused on keeping intruder out of secured area. Common method include a tall perimeter fences, a barbed wire or a barbed wire, clear sign of stating that the site has active security, commercial video cameras and what have you. So now you understand when you are passing by a house within your area, a nice building with a tall wall and stuff like that, maybe a small, poster or a small thing will be pasted at the gate that there's a wild dog in the house. These are all deterrent measures. So when you know that there's a wild dog in that environment, in that particular, property. Hello, please kindly mute yourself. Hello. Hello. Please, can you mute him for me? Okay. So these are some of the things that could deter people. Okay, detection. This is how to get to know that there's someone within your environment. Detection works to catch any intruder if they manage to get past the deterrent measures mentioned above. Some criminals might slip in behind an employee known as surrogating, as I explained earlier, or they might find a way of scaling barriers, or in these cases, the physical security measures that can detect their presence quickly is crucial. So this includes many types of physical security systems that you are probably familiar with. Physical security controls, example, the cameras, the motion sensors, the sensor, the intruder alarm, and the smart alerting technology like the AI analytics. If an intruder is spotted quickly, it makes it much more easier for security staff to delay them getting any further. So these are some of the important tools that we can use to deter or detect any unwanted intruder. So the CCTV cameras are there, the intruder alarm. So whenever he tries to go in, the alarm will just start beeping. And then we have the smart alerting technology, the AI analytics, and the rest. So delay. You will notice that several physical security systems have multiple rules, so they can deter as well as detect. Many of the physical security measures above also effectively delay intruders. Access control system requires credentials to open a locked door, slowing an intruder down and making it easier for him to be apprehended. So response, having the technology and process to respond to intruders and take action. So there's so many actions that could be taken, like when there's a detection that an intruder is within the facility, the door will be locked and then he wouldn't have its way out and stuff like that. So there are so many things, or quickly the physical security, men will be around to make sure that he is being controlled or what have you. So these are some of the things that need to be put in place, and it has to be working quickly. Whenever there is a problem, quickly the security men should react quickly. So physical security control measures, the same video security. Video surveillance technology is a core element of many physical security plans. Today, CCTV cameras have moved on significantly from the days of recording analog signals to tape. So too has internet connectivity, thanks to fast network connectivity or connections, and the cloud transmitting high quality videos is faster than ever before. So video security primarily is a detector from the physical security controls using live connections and smart cameras. It is possible to spot suspicious activity in real time. Access control. So access control technology is another cornerstone for physical security system. Like the video system, access control system gives you an overview of who is entering and exiting the premises. It also gives you a physical control to keep certain people out and authorize people to enter the facility. So these are some of the things. Physical security control technology, analytics and artificial intelligence. So physical security technologies can log large quantities of data around the clock. Now this information can be enhanced with smart analytics. Analytics powered by AI can process all this data and provide a helpful digest for your security team, saving them valuable time and helping them to make a faster decision. How to identify a security threat. So the best way to uncover any potential weak spots is to conduct a thorough risk assessment. Stress testing physical security rigorously will reveal where your main challenges are. So this in turn directs you on priority areas for your physical security investment plan. You can conduct this risk assessment yourself, or you can consult a specialist or physical security company to do that for you. Cybersecurity, South Africa is there. We have the physical security department within our organizations that whoever wants anything in this regard could contact South Africa, and I think the team will be readily available to provide you with any advice that you may need and then any protection that you will need. There are so many tools that South Africa is having, and it's modern tools that South Africa has acquired to make sure that physical security within our environment is very strong, and there wouldn't be any unwanted intrusion within our facilities if we are in contact South Africa. So any other person, anyone who wants anything about physical security could contact the team, and I think they will give him a physical, they'll give him a good advice and then a good security system. Physical security failure are not always the direct result of a poor physical security system. Sometimes even with many of the right physical security measures, problems can arise because weaknesses or challenges in other business areas. Some of these challenges are not immediately obvious, but will require stress testing or investigation to reveal them. So, as I said earlier on, I don't want to waste my time on this. If you want anything about security, physical security, just come to South Africa and we'll sort you out. Some of the challenges also has to do with budget shortage. So it prevents many businesses from making an appropriate physical security investment. But the important thing is you prioritize your organization, your assets, and you know where to put a serious security system in place. By so doing, you'll be able to beat some cost, because if you said you're going to, protect almost everything, it can be costly, and some people, that alone could stop them from even thinking about providing a better physical security. But when you prioritize your asset or your system, you will know where to put much, emphasis or attention on. But as I said earlier, I will still contact South Africa and they will sort you out. Staff shortage. This is also a very serious case. Lack of money is a problem. Shortage of people, human being. Human resource, as you always see, are very important for every organization. We're thinking of AI, ML, and stuff. the coming up of the coming of new technology, thinking that they could help us to have a secure environment. Yes, they would, but human beings are very important because they are the ones who issue the command, who serve, who make sure that those tools or those machines also help. But shortage of this human being makes it very difficult to have a proper, physical security in place. So organization needs to have more physical security personnel. They need to have more investments. They need to have more people on board so that those people could help in having a good, secured environment. To continue, the physical security technology enhances business security, but if it is not properly integrated into a large physical security system, it can bring problems rather than benefits. So a key factor to bear in mind is how your physical security devices interface and how they feed information back into your physical security system. If your devices are not compatible or they are not properly integrated, critical information might be missing. So one way to minimize the likelihood of this happening is to use the device that comply with ONVIF. So the ONVIF stands for Open Network Video Interface Forum. Open Network Video Interface Forum. So its aim is to provide a standard for the interface between a different IP-based physical security devices, guarantee that the user can easily integrate cameras and surveillance equipment from different brands into a common system. So this is how to gather, how to integrate information gathered from different devices that have been set to provide or to ensure that there's a proper security system in place, or to give us feedback as to the kind of, intrusion that, or the detection that they've detected as far as unwanted intruders are concerned, or any other people that, comes into the organization, or any other information that has to be guarded as far as security within the organization or the premises is concerned. So when you use ONVIF, you get a very good coordination between those information, and you'll be able to, have up-to-date, decision as far as security is concerned. Conducting a risk assessment, you can approve any physical security investments without first knowing which physical security measures are needed. This is why a thorough risk assessment is an invaluable asset. Once you have it, you can return to it and add to its use to adapt to a physical security system over time. It might be overwhelming trying to work out where to begin. If you do not have a know-how or a bandwidth to do this yourself, so there are many physical security companies who specializes in risk assessments and pen testing. So there are people like the organizations like SoftAfrique that have been in this business for so many years, and they have experienced men to make sure that a proper physical security or risk assessment and pen testing is being done for your organization. So you can contact them, review operations and measures. You commercialize operations approved. All information you have gained from the risk assessment to help. So you have to ascertain the physical security controls, and you purchase and implement. The scale of your projects would depend on the resources that are already available. So with the commercialization or commercial and operational approved, at this point you submit your plans for business approval. So you implement physical security policy setup. With stakeholders backing, your physical security plan is finally ready for implementation. This is the stage where processes are mapped out in greater detail along with the protocols and internal physical security policies. So at this point, you want to finalize the response aspects of your physical security system. You establish a point of contacts for incident response, such as who is responsible for threat verification. So this all has to do with having a proper policy in place, a system in place that you ensure that all the physical security system is well coordinated and well designed. In case there is any problem, you have assigned the one to be responsible for that, where to channel your report or your grievance or what have you, as far as physical security is concerned. And whenever there is a problem, you just go there and you hold those people responsible. So we have a proper policy that has outlined everything about your physical security. And by so doing, you have a proper control over your assets. Physical security best practices. So as your physical security system bets in and grow over time, so there are some physical security best practices it is wise to maintain. So the first being a list of all the components you use, example, the camera, keypads, and the passcode. So you have to have a proper inventory, proper records of all the components that the organization uses for its security, system. A corresponding list of your device configuration. Have to have the list of your configured devices, a good objectives and how to implement them, to have a good plan, a good system in place. That's how, why do I need this, and how to implement those objectives that you have, a redundancy network protocol, and configuration, a physical security policy for regular testing and maintenance, any local, national, international physical security standards or regulations you follow, along with the dates for renewal. So these are all best things that you have to ensure that you have in place for you to have a proper physical security system in place. Having a guide like this not only keep all parties on the same page, it's also a great resource for any new hires. By keeping all your core information together, you will not leave yourself open or any physical security risk nor the compliance issue. So when you have all these things in place, especially the regulations, the policies that you have to follow, both local and international, as far as physical security is concerned, you know what you have to do at every given time. You know that based on this compliance by this particular area, I know that I need this, that. Most cases, it's not everything that you may need based on your location, but it's good that you have an idea as to what is happening elsewhere, so that you can also either implement it or you have it as a backup plan in case there's anything you can so use that. So to conclude, we are going to bring the physical security and the IT security team together. So however, this growth in physical security technology means IT and physical security need to operate more closely. Digital logs need to be processed, stored, and presented to the right people. AI models may need to be created and system trained. Importantly, all internet connected devices need to be properly secured. So the logs is very important that we keep our logs very, very serious, and we have to review it. In case there is any problem, we have to go in and look at who accesses what and who happens to be where at a given time. We have to look at our logbooks as well, the same, to be able to know who were within that particular premises or facility within a particular time. We shouldn't wait when there is a problem before we will be reviewing our logs. Be our advice. Every now and then we have to take our logs and look at the people that comes in and out of our working place, and even some of the employees, the time they come and the time they leave the working place, not only for salary matter cases, but to be able to know if you have any bad insider within that organization. Physical security system are no longer just a sensor and reports back to the user whether it detects motion or not, says Kennedy. So these are heavily technological systems that are just increasing every year in sophistication. However, the security providers are often device manufacturers first, and now they want to get into the whole IoT businesses today, so they are really a development shop second. And what we are finding with these devices are actually introducing more pressure than those closed off systems than we have seen in the past. So these devices can often be hacked remotely. CCTV cameras made up a large portion of the malware botnets using to take down then in a major distributed denial of service attack. You understand, in 2016, if your sensor networks are not adequately segmented and protected, a flaw in one device can allow an attacker to disable a range of security processes. So even with the CCTV cameras, there have been some issues whereby the CCTV cameras were used as bats. In most of the cases, like in some of the distributed of cases of service, that happens in 2016. And other sensors, if are not well taken care of, they could be used to cause a harm to the organization. The technology these companies are starting to implement is very promising and really with the mindset of trying to stop people from breaking into buildings. They are still immature in the development cycle and going to take a long time to fix. As a result of this growing, convergence of the physical and digital physical security and IT security are becoming increasingly meshed in cross-functional teams, with some companies creating security operations. Okay, a limited number of businesses that do coverage both operations centers, says Steve Kenny, industry liaison of architecture and engineering at physical security and video surveillance provider access, communication. But at the moment, much of the focus is around the convergence of control centers rather than have several CCTV control centers around UK and what have you. And if the two teams are not merging into one large function, Kenny says it is still important that the two work together and have a shared responsibility. So the cyber criminals don't care what the roles and responsibilities are for an individual, and the different departments can speak completely different language. Having a CSOC security officers responsible for both physical and IT security, it can bring the different teams together to help raise security across the organization. So given that the EU GDPR requirements include physical security, ensuring all things are aligned and working towards the same goal is essential. So I think this brings us to the end of the presentation, and these are some of the references as to where we were able to gather all these materials from and what have you. So with this, we can draw the curtains for this presentation, and we are going to come back to the house and open the session. If any of us has any contribution, any question, or anything to add, then we can take it from here. Thank you very much. And the doors are open now. Oh, Mr. Adi, very sorry. Said you couldn't hear me for a minute. Sorry. We'll still have the recordings if like you can share the recordings with you so that you'll be able to go through it and have all the things that we have said. And as well, we can even share the slides. If anyone likes it, we can just share with anyone so that that person could also have access to the material and can read or do a further research in that area. So thank you very much for the time, guys, and the doors are open. Any question, any suggestion, we're open for that.
Thank you very much, Shafiu. You were given an experience where somebody was trying to enter your apartment building and you prevented the person. What are some of the measures that we can physically put in place to avert some of these occurrences?
That person is trying to use a tailgating, as I stated earlier, in the sense that that person was just standing by the door and he's just waiting for someone to open the door. In most cases, in some cases, sorry, some of them he'll be like he's receiving a call or something, he's on phone, like he has the key to unlock that door, but he's on phone. So he's just using that as an advantage, waiting for someone to come and open for him to be able to enter. So in that regard, what some organizations do is that they have a system in place that if someone who doesn't have access to a particular area enters that area, maybe he can enter the first door, but with the second door, he wouldn't have access because the place would be locked and stuff. But in the case whereby it's an open environment, whereby after bypassing the first door, you just get access to wherever you want to go. I think that will be difficult. So in that regard, the organization could have a policy, the policy that could state that every single person that is coming within the organization has to, badge in. Okay, every single person that is coming in the organization has to make sure he unlocked the door by himself. So no one will allow anybody to follow him. If you are 10 people that are coming within the premises, everyone has to badge in before he or she could get access to the organization. Okay, so by having that policy in place, or by having a system whereby it wouldn't allow two people to cross at the same time, at every go, one person will cross. And if two people try to cross at the same time, the system will just break, and then an alarm will be raised, and then those people will be checked and stuff like that. By so doing, you can put a stop to that. But if you don't have those things in place, I think it will be very, very difficult. So these are some of the things that I think the organization should have in place, that at every point in time, every single individual, one person is allowed to enter by him batting in or by him using the key or something of that sort. I hope I'm making sense.
Very well, thank you.
You're welcome. So any other thing? Any question? Any suggestion? Anything? Okay, I think we're all quiet. That means everything that we have said has indeed sunk well, and then we're happy that people have really, have understood whatever we have presented, and we're happy that you guys are here. We hope going forward we'll see you more. But one thing, I'm very sorry that for the past 3 weeks, I've been the one, presenting. And I think from next week, someone else will take over. Normally, I'm not the one to be going through the presentation every day. It's South Africa's resources or people or students from South Africa that are allowed to do the presentation on a weekly basis. But within these few weeks, we have some little challenge as far as our past and current students are concerned. But I know going forward from next week, we'll have our people presenting from different, we'll see different people presenting. We'll hear different voices present. You have females and the male students and what have you, the interns and what have you presenting, as well as the likes of Pradeep and Kek and the rest will also be here to kind of exhibit their talent as far as this presentation is concerned. This is a very serious, presentation. We make sure that we tackle a very sensitive or good topics, and we channel the topics. We make sure the topics that we take are aligned with what we do here, the training of the Security Plus course. And in most cases, these are some of the areas that the final exams do come from. So we allow our students to do a research in a way to increase their knowledge as far as, those areas are concerned. And as well, we come up with hands-on on every single topic that we treat that has a link to any hands-on. So we do that as well. We allow our students to also demonstrate their talents as far as the hands-on is concerned. So God willing, next week we'll have a female student or an intern or a member of South Africa presented. But before then, I will call on, our able Madam Janet, to come in if she's around before we'll draw the curtain. So, Madam Janet, if you are here,
Yes, I'm
we
here.
have you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for today's session. I'd love to say a big thank you to all those present here today. We are truly happy to have you. We want to see more and more of you. Yeah, and so if you want to enjoy more insights like this, we advocate that you join in here every Wednesday, same time. And then if you want to build expertise in cybersecurity, then SoftAfrique is the best option. SoftAfrique, at SoftAfrique, we offer a 4-month course and we encourage everyone to join in here. We get you the best and you get to take your course with leaders in the industry. So leadership experts in the industry and leaders in the industry. Yeah, we have limited slots. Even though our enrollment happens every month, we have a limited slot. And so do not hesitate and do not delay to take the offer. Our doors are widely open and we are waiting to have you in. Yeah, so thank you so much. See you same time next week. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye from here. Mr. Stanley, how are you? Mr. Stanley Brown?
Yeah, hello, sorry.
Yeah, I've been trying to reach you. I've sent you several messages. I didn't hear from you.
On Teams?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, on Teams.
Okay, I'll check on the best.
Okay, no problem.